This is a demo of Xenops. So Xenops is an Emacs package for editing LaTeX documents, particularly documents with lots of mathematical content or tables or diagrams. So here is Emacs with a LaTeX skeleton in it, and there's nothing special going on at all. Xenops mode isn't active at the moment. So an example of something we might type into a LaTeX document would be this. Okay, so that's normal LaTeX usage, and nothing happened. So now let's try that again with Xenops mode active. So Emacs Xenops mode. Okay, and now if we enter that again, so now when the cursor exits this little inline math block, you see that there was a brief period when the text was sort of faintly highlighted, and then the text got replaced with this rendered image of the LaTeX content. And that's the main thing that Xenops is offering, is automatic rendering of LaTeX content, of mathematical content and tables and diagrams as you type. And you don't have to do anything. You type, and when the cursor exits the block, the LaTeX content will be rendered automatically and asynchronously, so it doesn't interrupt your typing. But of course we might want to edit that. So if we put the cursor back on there and hit return, then we can edit it. And so we could replace that. We could change that to an M and leave it. And again, you see there's a slight pause while LaTeX behind the scenes is rendering that code to an image, and then replace the text with the image. And then if we decide that we want to go back to the N, so then the N's cached. That image, LaTeX doesn't have to do any work, so that was instantaneous. So that's inline. Of course, we can do the same thing with block or display math. So here's an example. I'm going to paste in it rendered behind the scenes and replace it with the image. So if we want to edit that now, so place the cursor over it, hit return, and so now you see that for display math or block math like this, the image is shown below while you're still able to edit the text. So that allows us to do something like change that Q to an X, and I just save the buffer, which automatically triggers rendering and update of that image. So you see the X, the Q is now an X. If we go back to what it was before, I'm saving the buffer to trigger. I'm about to save the buffer now to trigger rendering, and that was instantaneous. So we can use this as a way to work on a block of equations with live feedback, and it makes it less interruption. No need to recompile the LaTeX document when all you want to see is just to verify that the math is being typeset the way you expect. And obviously we can still compile this document to PDF as normal, but just for getting quick feedback as you're working on something, the feedback here is live in the Emacs buffer. So if we move the cursor out of here, then the block is entirely replaced by the image, and we can just go on and continue with the document. So that's inline and display math. So we can also do diagrams and tables. So let's give an example of doing a TXT diagram. So I'm going to add a few more libraries there, and I'm going to tell Xenops to refresh the preamble cache because it needs to pick up those new libraries. So there's a command I used there. And so we can enter a TXT diagram, something like this. So a very simple graph. Something like that. And I hit save, and that rendered. And we can make changes, hit save, see the change, and maybe we don't like it, so go back to that. And then when the cursor exits it, then the diagram is just there, and it's nicer to look at the document with the rendered image there. From now on, we don't need to see the code when we're working elsewhere in the document.